Morning, everyone. Today's the 22nd of November. Happy Friday. We've made it to another Friday. We're looking at the SPY chart. This is the Plan Your Trade video. Couple of interesting moves taking place today, particularly in gold. But we're going to first look at this setup here. Now, don't know how to show this to you other than maybe going to this chart, which got a lot of drawing on it, but I guess this will work. So where we're at right now is we are seeing, I don't want to remove everything. So I'll remove a couple of things here. Okay, we are at a very interesting kind of an island flagging formation that is setting up what I believe is going to be a very solid kind of a flag uh, mode here. So pay attention to these highs and lows through this gapping flagging formation here, and then pay attention again to the type of rotation that we're seeing across this gap here. So I'm kind of seeing this as a moderately, well, let's consider it extremely type volatile move, where we have these parallel channels setting up, somewhat parallel channels. And, I think we're moving into a very solid flagging formation here, attempting to fill back into this gap. So I've been warning of my anomaly event for a while. We have rejected into this gapping area, meaning we've seen this gap and this gap, completely voided this gap through the election. We've moved above that area, island out over here in this channel, came back down, island out into this channel. I see these as two separate price phases. I really do. I see this as a gapping price phase, kind of aligning back into this upper blue channel. You can see here, there was a way, I found a way at one point to draw an angled ellipse S rectangle, rotated rectangle. There it is. So let's see if it works this way. Yay, okay, it works. So you can see how we stayed kind of within this channel. Let me see if I can shrink this. Stayed kind of within this channel, moving out. And now we've got this fairly strong breakdown into this lower channel here. And I think this breakdown is going to be very important because I think that we are going to see this excess phase peak pattern playing out with this flagging like this, weakening and breaking down hard, I think, down into this area, 564, setting up our consolidation range, and possibly breaking a bit further into this area, setting up an ultimate low. So we're watching this right now. We also have to watch this upper level. So this is where all bets are off for the downside move. Okay. We are looking to try to, right now, the most logical outcome is that we are going to roll downward and we are going to try to fill this gap. And we are then going to break downward into this lower channel into 564. I've talked about it before. And this is where I think we're going to find some support on the SPY. But this is the anomaly event setting up. This is really the anomaly event playing out. Now, currently, we have a temporary bottom set up in trending mode with bearish trending and explosive trending in bearish bias. So today, we would be looking at a temporary bottom, which is a bit more of, this is a daily chart. So I'm going to come back in here to hourly. And a temporary bottom pattern would indicate that we would see some downward move, setting up a base, which would then be broken. That's what a temporary bottom is. A temporary bottom is finding some support level, rolling around like this, that sets up a support level that is eventually breached back to the downside. Okay. So the bottom could be related to yesterday's lows, which we come over here. Previous lows were down around this area. We could, I hate to say it, but we could come wipe out all of yesterday and come down to this 585 level, breaking down into temporary lows, setting this area as a temporary low. That would be a reconfirmation, kind of like this, of a low. And that is not likely, I don't think, today, but possible today. Okay. And then you can see that we're rolling into this broader selling pattern here that I think takes place because the anomaly event is setting up currently at this point. Now, remember, we're also in that sell mode back over here where we had reached the peak and we were rolling. We're in a little pressure, obviously, with yesterday's move up. I believe this is the start of the anomaly event, the flagging pattern that breaks down and breaks out. So we are looking at essentially moving into a downward selling pressure mode, which is what I kept telling you guys weeks ago, that we were going to move into this flagging downward anomaly event type of mode. Excuse me, still don't have any coffee yet this morning. So we're looking at a downward price event, I believe, is likely setting up. And even though we had our sell here moment here, I won't change it. And our big two flagging, we extended into flagging a bit. We're looking for that sell trigger. We're looking for downward confirmation right now on the SPY. Same thing with the QQQ. So we're seeing that extended flagging. So I'll try not to clutter this up too much, but you can see we're getting that big, broad sideways mode here. Here's our flagging carrying out. It's actually more of a broad flag now. And get rid of this. Coming up into this area, there's our flagging. And as you can see, we've already hit that peak. We rolled up, come back down, hit that mode into flagging across here and here. And again, that is going to be our concern for this rollover. And the rollover again is setting up into a move down here into this 482 level. So approximately do the math here, that's a 10, 20 point move of 500. So that would essentially be a 2% move. Is that correct? 2.5%. Oh, 4.5%. Did the math wrong. So we got about a 4.5% move to the downside potential, maybe ending down here at about -7, -8%. And again, that's what I'm warning. Again, I don't want to be, I could be wrong. We'll see. But, you'll see, you guys have been following me long enough to know that my analysis is pretty straightforward. And when I'm wrong, I call it and I tend to flip directions. So we need to get above this level to continue to trend higher and or below this level, 494.60. So here's the upper level, 515.27, 494, call it 80. It's really 60, 494.60 in the lower level. We need to get below that level in order to trend downward. That's the breakdown we're looking for. We need to get above this upper level, 515.34, in order to get higher. So let me make these and get the right price here. 494.60. There's the levels. And what we're looking for here, guys, is like I said, the way I see this, we're into consolidation. We could obviously continue to rally up and out of this into a saddle rally, but I see this as a big flagging pattern looking to set up to the downside. So I'm more so anticipating this anomaly event breaking to the downside, headed into Thanksgiving, and I'm looking for this downward rotation right now. That's really where I think the markets are headed. And I think that we're going to be looking at some type of an anomaly event. And I really am watching the sector spiders. I'll go through that a little bit if I have time at the end, but I'm really watching the sector spiders to see what's going on. So moving off to gold, come over here and highlight the gold cycle patterns. We're looking at a nothing pattern today in counter trending mode. We are in bearish accumulation. And looking at a pretty solid rally here in gold. You gotta love it when gold rallies, just like I said, paused, flagged out, broke into this pattern. Looks like we've now moved up into this consolidation range. So understand that we're looking at this now being the big consolidation range before we attempt to get higher. That's a beautiful move. Silver's just started to make the breakaway. We were looking at this yesterday. I indicated that, we've got to see silver move out of this flagging formation and try to break away. I think you're going to see silver make that big move to the upside. So come back here. I think you're going to see silver move up into this channeling area. In fact, I'll do it a little differently. I'll get rid of this. Get rid of this, get rid of this, shrink it on down, get rid of this and that, and here we go. And silver is going to move very likely up into this 33 and change area, trying to set up that flagging formation, which will be the big number 3 that we talked about off of this big pattern. So this is actually the purple pattern. Now, from that 3, we will get even bigger upward trending. Okay. So we're going to be looking at this is just the middle flag, number 3 pattern, setting up for the rally up to the ultimate high. Same thing here. Number 3 up to the ultimate high. Silver will lag this move. Could be a pretty good trend over the next couple of days higher as gold breaks. And what I think is going to happen is you're going to see gold really start to break to the upside here. After we get a little bit of flagging right into, maybe around the 25th, 26th or so, once we get over here into the 26th, right over in this area, I think the big move in gold is going to be up to the upside, 2,800 and then 2,860. Whoops. Let's try that again. The big move in gold is going to be up to 2,800, pausing, and then up to 2,860, 2,880, and then maybe 2,900. There's still a chance. I got to tell you guys, there's still a pretty good chance that gold is going to try to break 3,000 before the end of the year. I showed you these measured moves before, how we get very clean measured moves. And so this puts us up into this area, and then a moderate flagging pullback up into this area. So we can move this up to about here, move this up to about here, and move this up to about here. So it gives you a pretty good extension up into just under 3,000, 2,982. And we're gonna just watch these play out. Really, we're gonna watch these play out over the next week or so. But we have these extensions playing out potentially very strongly for gold. Like I said, the next big move here, the breakaway move, if we close above this number one level, we're going to get off to the races big time for gold, maybe up into the $3,000 range. And this is going to be very exciting. That would likely put silver, if silver keeps up with its big brother friend gold, that will likely put silver up into, let's do the measurements here. So if we get this move, got to do this a little differently so I can at least get to what I'm trying to get to. There's a 100%, 200%. Okay, puts us right into this area. It puts us right into this area. Okay, so now let's come to the extension. Let's go from here to here to here. And so 160 puts us up to here. And then 320 puts us up to here. Yeah, I could easily see this as I drew playing out. I could easily see this type of a big expansion phase rolling up to this 168 level, consolidating, rolling up to this 320, reaching an excess peak, and then potentially rolling even higher, maybe up into this area before finding some consolidation. That would be $38, $38 potential target in silver on this next move, which is from where we're at right now, down in this area, to 22% rally. And what we have going on in gold is a roughly 9% rally, a $251, $255 rally. So beautiful move. So let's get back down here and really kind of just relish in the fact that, a lot of people were following me when I was telling them that gold was going to base and bottom through here and rally back up 2710. It was just going to take some time. Same thing's going on with silver. Okay. We're getting ready for that big rally phase in silver here. Takes a little while because it lags behind gold a bit. But now look, guys, we're getting the big rally in gold. We're up to 2702, rolling down a little bit right now, but the next target again is 2800 plus. Okay, we're watching this to try to break up into this 2820, 2800 area. Silver likely trying to rally up into this 3280, $33 area. And that gives you a pretty good idea of where we are headed for metals. Now, Bitcoin, lastly, we come over here and take a look at Bitcoin. And you remember I talked to you guys about how this move was going to happen, and I targeted this confirmed long and this moderate long off of this apex breakout. I drew this arrow weeks ago indicating this was our Fibonacci price theory long trigger. And now we've seen it roll all the way through my 97.50 level. And now we're up there. Look at this. Look at moving up towards my target of 10,500. We're not too far away, guys. We're less than $2,000 away from 10,500. We're actually about, from these highs, 99,400. Oh, let's see if we got to 500. Oh, we did. 99,500. Come over here. Data window point. Yep, 99,500 was the high. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So we were only $1,000 away as of that high. I say that we're going to get there very quickly. I say that we're going to see this move up into the 100,000, maybe a little bit above it. And then we'll probably roll into a pullback, setting up the flag, which will be another excess phase peak pattern. We'll see how it plays out, guys. But, at this point, we're in that rally phase. So once we get up to this rally phase, up above, say 100,500, now we got to watch to see what it does. This isn't a big, solid rally mode. I mean, there's no other way to talk about it other than the fact that we're getting into a solid breakaway rally from the election. I mean, we've gone up $32,000 in the last 8 days for Bitcoin. Just a real solid rally phase coming right up into my target area. And then, like I said, then I would be watching for a bit of a pullback. We'll see. I mean, I would expect a pullback. I'm pretty darn sure we're going to get one. But whether or not it turns into any type of a correctional trend or not, we don't know yet. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Go back to the SPY. Remember, we're watching these kind of gapping scenarios here to see if we get any rolling trend. Spread this back out. Remember, we were in this sell here mode over here, so we're kind of looking at this topping pattern as kind of a selling area. I don't know why that triggers there. And what we're going to do here, folks, is watch to see if we get any type of a rollover trend down into my breakdown pattern as I expect. So, excuse me, been sneezing here a bit and I got a stuffed up nose. So, probably gonna have to go get in a hot shower. Okay, so we're gonna just go from there. At this point, it's Friday. Get some. Be prepared, like I said, for this sell mode. I'm still looking for that breakdown mode, and I want you guys to understand that, in my opinion, that it's very likely we're going to see the SPY, especially failing down here at these levels, come in here, try to fill this gap. I've highlighted it here. Fill this gap and potentially attempt to fill this other gap over here. And I really do believe that this whole mode that we're looking at is to the downside. I really do believe that this is a big, solid breakdown, setting back up, coming back down into this level, the 578 level, possibly down to the 565, 566 level, maybe a bit lower for the SPY. So be aware. I think that ultimately this is the move that's going to play out, building some downward move back into this channeling level. And you can see I've drawn the channeling levels here. This is the channel here and here. But again, I think we're going to roll into this lower level, possibly down to this lower channel, find some support, and then come back out of it as a Christmas rally. So we will see how things play out. Okay. Go get some today. I'm going to get this thing uploaded and ready to go for Friday, and let's see how things play out. Talk to you later.